Every day in this country, 4 children will die from abuse and neglect.
1,900 new cases of child abuse enter the CPS system each day.
Children who are caught up in these desperate situations are often overlooked and become lost in a system that is hopelessly overwhelmed.
Although the system is full of concerned judges, lawyers, and caseworkers, there is no one person who can advocate for that child and be a constant force in their life.
Someone who is empowered directly by the courts and can give the judges the critical information they need.
Someone who can ensure that the rights and needs of each child in the foster care system are being well attended to.
Until now.
CASA stands for Court Appointed Special Advocate. A CASA volunteer is someone who works with the courts to advocate for children while they are in the foster care system.
I met him when he answered the door when he was 10 years old at the foster, my first initial contact, and he had food all over his face and he had a black eye. And he was kind of standoffish, we kind of felt each other out. And it was actually about a year, it was about 12 months before he actually initiated a hug.
When you visit with him once a month and you have a permanency hearing, that's not enough to build that trust. And so the child never really tells you what's going on. We get to now know through the CASA workers what's actually going on, what's going on, where they want to see it go in the future.
And I love that because there's no way to get that information otherwise. And it's probably the only way you're going to get that information ever.
CASA volunteers go through almost 30 hours of training and instruction before being sworn in by a judge. During this time, they learn about the foster care system and how to most effectively advocate for a neglected child in need.
The confidentiality
of all information received.
Of all information received.
To be
We're about to go get our first case.
At each hearing, I receive a report from the CASA advocate. Beliefs is what's in the best interest to the child, so that we can read those out and discuss those during the course of the hearing. So I would say every case is extremely important to me to have a CASA advocate on that.
Volunteers maintain a positive relationship with their child until they are adopted in a permanent, loving home. This can sometimes take years.
He considers me as his father. He tells me all the time that you're my dad, and it's a blessing that he thinks that way because he's had a rough life, and I think that he will one day maybe he'll get a place in this world.
Caseworkers come and go, foster homes change. It's not the same as having a CASA who always knows where you are, always knows how to get a hold of you on the phone, and is going to be there when they say they're going to be there.
This program helps give a child an opportunity, a chance for a better life, and you help keep them from falling through the net of the CPS system, the courts. You're their watcher. You watch over them.
For many abused children, this is the only constant adult presence in their life.
There's not a positive outcome in most of these cases where these children have been swept up by CPS. I read recently that about a quarter of them end up in the penal system. Another quarter end up homeless on the streets. They don't have a very good foundation. They've been traumatized as children. They just don't typically have a very good outcome.
As the numbers keep growing and more children coming into care, we are losing that battle of being able to constantly supply a CASA for each of these children.
So it just takes more people in the community that are willing to get involved with CASA, because there's definitely a need for it right now.
But the reward that you get is a lifetime reward, and it's very important to give to these kids because they've been let down over and over again.
Other state agencies try to do a good job, but you still need that person that says, look, I love these kids, and I'm going to step into their life on a volunteer basis and try to intervene. And that's really what CASA does. It really fills that gap where families are struggling and where the courts can't really just adequately do the job.
There are over 300 cases of abused and neglected children in Palo Pinto and Parker counties right now. All of them are crying out to be heard. Will you be their voice?